right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday and a blitzkrieg of once-in-a-lifetime events here in September and October. So you think the world was about to end, and who the hell knows, man? It just might. These crazy-ass people in the Middle East and all over the world. All I say is, let's just open up a bottle of wine and, relax, people. And we're going to open up a bunch of bottles of wine here at the Wine Watch. And like I said, we are drinking like it is our last day on Earth. Almost, well, once or twice a month. And this vintage Bordeaux tasting, hey, anytime I can get a chance to open up a 59 vintage wine, a 61, a 66, and a bunch of 82s in one night, are you kidding me? Really once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And the 59, which I always like to start with the old dogs. I know some people in Bordeaux like to drink the young ones first and go to the old ones, but to me, the old wines have got less tannins. They need less time to open up. But I'll tell you what, this 59 Talbot was even better on the second day. Unbelievable. If I had my druthers, I would trade in all the old vintages of Bordeaux for the 59, my favorite by far. And on this occasion, it did prove to be the winner again with 8 votes for first out of 15. An overwhelming majority picked the 59 as the top wine. This wine had a lovely bouquet from the time I opened it up. Smoke, cigar box spice, toffee. Still had some red currant berry fruit too. Very seductive. And this wine still lovely richness on your palate. Like silk now. The tannins and an array of spice, earth, and toffee. And wonderful freshness here. This wine just incredible how it held together all night and still good on the next day. Wow, killer juice. The 61 Chateau Talbot. Wow, a beautiful bouquet here also. Some people like the 61 better than the 59, although it did get some votes. Nothing close to the 59. 61, a great year. Also, in drinking, after its peak years, obviously these old wines still showing nicely, but I would say they're on their downside or starting to hit on their downside. This wine's got a wonderful bouquet of dried tobacco, coffee, red currants, still very much alive, still very fresh, and did get better as the night went on. Very balanced wine with a long finish here. This most excellent juice, the 61 Talbot. We got a great bottle. The 66, this wine had a lot of peppery spice to the nose and maybe seemed a little bit dried out at first, but after it opened up, really had some nice fruit to it, some earth, and you definitely noticed not as much fruit in this wine as in the 61 or the 59, but still very nice. You can invite me over any night, and I will drink a bottle of this with you. It was absolutely delicious. No votes for first or second. This was the only wine on the table that didn't get any votes on this evening. All right, the 1986 Grand LaRose, and we did the 86 and then went back to 82 because... well, we wanted to show all the 82s together. 86 is a big vintage. Wow. And this was a real crowd pleaser. It got 2 votes for first place and a vote for second, putting it in 4th place for the evening. And this was the biggest of all the wines on the table. 86, still very young. The color on this even very dark. Lovely currant and plum fruit. Lots of coffee, earth, cigar box spice, and peppery notes. Really wonderful complexity here and lovely nuance. This wine's still very big and chewy on the tongue with a lot of currant and plum fruit. A wonderful volume and depth here with tannins, that fruit spice, a full hand of acidity here holding everything together. Wow, the longest finish of all the wines here and most excellent juice. One of my favorite wines on the table. The 82 Grand LaRose I didn't think was quite as good as the 86, but a lot of people really like this wine. I don't know if it got any votes here for first place, but there were several mentions about the 82 Grand LaRose. This is a great vintage in Bordeaux. And the wines are drinking at their peak right now. This wine's showing some lovely smoky cigar box spice, dried coffee, some leathery notes, plum and cherry fruit, some fresh plowed earth. A very elegant wine on the tongue, smooth and silky tannins, red berry fruit still present, wonderful freshness. This wine's still very youthful and quite a bit of some tannin here left on the finish. That cedar and tobacco spice from the nose, really long and layered. Excellent juice. Hey, I like the Lafleur Petrus a little bit better. This is a wine from Pomerol. That's right, it's owned by the Moex family today. Wow, man, the nose just exotic. Spices, plum, and red cherry fruit, smoke, tobacco. Really lovely complexity here. Some of that clay-like earthy minerality. Plush and velvety on the tongue with lovely a silky smooth texture here. This wine's got lovely richness, that plum and cherry fruit. A lot of nuance from the nose showing through on the finish. Very long and layered. Wow, very popular wine. 3 votes for second place here, but a lot of honorable mentions for this Lafleur Petrus 82. Most excellent juice. The 82 Bernard Cru was the most improved. When it opened it, it was a little austere, and it had some currant, some green pepper, some cigar box spice, some gravelly, minerally notes. This wine really benefited with a little time being open, though. Wow. After it was open for a little while, the fruit started to come out. I mean, the wine really rounded out an abundance of red currant and plum, silky smooth tannins. And this wine still had a little bit of grip at the end, some acidity there as well. And got 2 votes for first place and 2 votes for second, making it number 3 wine of the night. But to me, obviously, one of the best wines on the table was a Lynch Bash 82. This wine was stunning. From the time I opened it up, it had this beautiful bouquet of cedar, tobacco, red currant, berry fruits, smoky, very complex, menthol, more and more coming out as the wine opened up, even bigger on the second day. And wow, on the palate, this wine still had a ton of currant berry fruit, very much alive. That lovely cigar box spice, incense, fresh earth coming out on the second day. Wonderful balance. This wine could last another 2 decades or more. Got 2 votes for first place and 4 votes for second, making it the number 2 wine of the night, behind the 1959. But hey, the Chateau Yquem didn't get any votes. Well, actually, we didn't include it in the process here. The 86 Yquem, thank you very much to Doug and Luba Martin for bringing the 86 Yquem. Dr. Martin, that's his signature move, Yquem, at the end of a Bordeaux tasting or any other tasting. 86, an incredible vintage. This wine showing some of that lovely honeyed and creme caramel character you get out of Yquem as it gets older. Some candied peach here, some vanilla, really sweet and luscious on the palate. That honey peach and apricot fruit showing, but a lovely, long, mineral-laced finish. A lot of acidity still in this wine. This wine will last another 20, 30 years or more. We had the 1901 at our vintage Yquem tasting, and the 2011, the next great vintage since 2001. This wine had a beautiful bouquet of pineapple and lemon citrus. Very youthful here. Need a little time to open up. Much better on the second day. Some buttered popcorn notes coming out. Some creme brulee nuance. Wow. Big and explosive wine on the tongue. This wine's got a lot of acidity, but also a lot of sugar. This wine needs some time here. Incredibly sweet. Lovely creamy texture and a long finish. You can see these young vintages of Sauternes drink nicely, but a vintage like 11, you can just see the wine needs time. The potential of 2011 is yet 20 years or more away. So put it aside for your kids or their kids, the 2011 Chateau Yquem, a wine for the ages. That's what we had to drink at our vintage Bordeaux tasting. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.